and welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. Sincerely hope everybody is doing amazingly well today. If you are brand new here, welcome. If you have just subscribed, welcome back. And for those of you who have been here for a while, obviously everybody welcome. Today we are doing a reading. What breakthrough are you on the verge of? And we'll get you some more information in and around that question too. So I thought what we would do today is leave nothing on pile 1, 2, and 3 and just have your imagination and your intuition call you to a pack. Normally we have something on there, but I just want you to really sit with your intuition. Take as much time as you need. If you need to focus, get back into alignment with yourself, because the more you do that, the more in line you will be with these readings. Then go ahead and pause the video. As always, the timestamps will be down below. Otherwise, for the rest of us here, let's just take in a nice big breath. And as you're choosing and grounding into your own energy, releasing what no longer works for you, at least for the next 10-15 minutes while you receive these messages, feel free to look into the candle, the beautiful flame, as for those of you who've been with me for a little while. These flames are always, or these candles are always dressed with abundance oil. So it'll help you move in and really click in there with your intuition. So feel free to just take a moment to look at the flame to help you choose a pile. All right, let's go ahead and put aside pile 2 and pile 3 for now. Okay, for those of you who chose pile 1, this is your reading. Again, it is what breakthrough are you on the verge of? So we have 3 oracle cards here, and then we will go ahead and get you more information with tarot a little bit later. So what breakthrough are you on the verge of? So let's answer that question first, pile 1. So integration. I combine body and mind and soul to lift all of humanity into a new dimension. Absolutely beautiful. So you have the 7th chakra here. Third eye is calling out 244, might be something 444, might be a number that's been calling out for you. In touch with your guardian angels, bringing all of your experience that you know into the current reality that you're moving into, a new timeline of where you're combining everything that you know to move forward. And you're doing this in a very calm way. You're doing this on your own terms. However, definitely picking up the feeling that this message may be just for some of you. But if it's still just for some of you, it's still a very important message. As you are moving into this integration phase, which is happening for you, it's definitely moving your frequency up, and it's definitely building your own sort of, not version of spirituality, but bringing in all those elements of what you consider spiritual and integrating them. But there might be what we say sort of violent bursts. Now, don't get freaked out. Violent maybe not be the right word, but they're going to feel like that sort of volcano sort of bursts of things sort of rising up to the surface that need to be dealt with immediately. And in that moment, you might have a couple of, oh, woe is me, what's going on right now? The world is ending. And it's very, very quick, but it's just to bring your attention to what needs to be integrated in that moment. And the reason why it's coming up sort of, for clarity's sake, thick and fast, is not because, there's a lot of work that needs to be done to integrate it. It just needs to be aware of. And it's the slight missing pieces of the puzzle. So if you find yourself in slight arguments or something coming up where there seems to be slight bumps in the road, it's your perception of the matter, and there's absolutely a gem of wisdom there waiting to be integrated for you. So again, as we say at Unicorn Light Tarot all the time, don't go down the rabbit hole. It's very easy to do that. And yes, technically we're always moving forward, we're always learning, we're always integrating, we're always moving up. you know, that never ends. We never get to a plateau where we know everything, right? But we do get to a plateau where we've healed enough and we know what we're doing and we're moving forward. We have that secure foundation, and that's where you're at. So don't go down that rabbit hole thinking that there's so much to be done if this is coming up. The reason why it comes up sort of thick and fast, sort of like a flash, like a volcano flash, if these things have already started happening or you're moving into a phase, and it's usually attached to something that doesn't feel like it's moving, it's going to work out. It will work out, but these sort of like flashes again are just letting you know that there's an integration that needs to happen. You've done the work, there's just an integration that needs to happen. So it's something that you need to voice. If it's something that's coming up, like, I need your help with this, I need you to step up and help me and meet me halfway with this. For an instance like that, if it's with your partner or something that comes up, it will be a flash of something that lets you know, like it feels like something's breaking down, and then all of a sudden you're in this sort of argument and something happens, and how did we get here? That's the reason why. It's just calling for your attention to move forward. So that's just a message for some of you as you're coming into this. Now, as you're moving into this integration phase, how can we help you with this? How is this coming about? What other information do we have for you in and around this? Enter the magic. Live in the now and seize the moment. Absolutely. So, another thing is, if, that message that we just said, if this is happening in your life too, the best thing to do is to stay in the moment. And we'll tell you why. As you're moving through this integration phase, and it's not exactly a phase, it's actually a very exciting sort of plateau, as it were. We want to remind you that certain aspects of as you move forward, are not necessarily set in stone. And this is a good thing. For those of you, Pile 1, who've always had a very set idea of what you wanted and how you're going to get there, and you make the list and you do that, because a lot of you have that sort of practical mindset. Nothing wrong with that. It's in order for you to be successful, one must, or one can, move in that direction. That's amiable, that's wonderful. We love that about you. But if you're trying to look into the future, some of you might be feeling a little bit cloudy and not be able to see sort of that clear way of moving that you've had before. And if that sort of moves you into any self-doubt, we want you to come back into the moment and have faith. Everything is working out for you. In fact, the universe is dropping things into your lap in the way to move forward. We want to remind you of something. You've done the work. You're showing up. The universe doesn't reward perfection. You don't need to be perfect for them to help you. They are absolutely there. The only reason why it can feel like the universe is not on your side, if you're trying to control the situation, or you're not in alignment, or if you're very clear about what you want, and then all of your actions are in the opposite direction, where you're not taking care of business, you're not taking care of your own spirituality, you're not taking care of your own inner knowledge and your own healing in order to be able to move forward and to claim what it is that you want. And this is not what you're doing. So have faith that whatever you've asked for will be delivered, or something better will be delivered in that moment. So if you're having these moments where you're moving forward, everything seems a little cloudy and it's bringing up a little insecurity, which is completely and totally understandable. This is actually a good thing. Some of you may be in the void right now, but the void is actually a wonderful thing, because you're in this situation where full integration is coming in. You're gathering up speed to move forward, and that's what the void is. It's giving you a respite before you move into what it is that you want. And sometimes the respite would not really be as powerful as it could be if you're being shown everything that's coming, right? Because then you won't be living in the moment. So there's a reason why you're here. So don't confuse the fact that you don't have a very clear idea of your next step, even though long term you have a good idea of what you want, or you're clued into your blueprint, but you don't know how you're going to get there. Don't worry. That's actually a really, really good sign. And again, if these little sort of bursts of energy come up, pay attention to them. They're trying to tell you something. It's part of the integration process. It's part of the void process, getting you ready to move forward. But we promise you, you've done the work. The universe takes notice. They have to take notice If you ask for whatever it is that you want and you do the work to meet them halfway, then okay, let's do it. They're never punishing you in any way. Again, the only reason why you wouldn't move forward is if you're trying to control, or you're moving against what it is that you're asking for. You're being your own worst enemy. You're getting in your own way. You're not doing this. You never have to worry about it. So don't let that self-doubt come in. If it comes in, thank it for, we totally understand where it's coming from. We don't need you. We know everything's going to work out. Even if you're in a situation where everything's kind of blowing up and you're like, what the hell? Sometimes that happens too. Sometimes we have sort of a fiery ending of things before we move forward. It's all part of the void, clearing things out before you move forward. But it doesn't feel like anything's like huge endings or this, that, and the other. It's just these little things that are coming up that really do need to be addressed as you move forward and integrated, because they want you to have this really, really firm foundation moving forward. And you've spent so much time and energy doing all of this shadow work, doing all this beautiful work to have that firm foundation. So this is, believe it or not, Pile One, this is your payoff. It may not feel like that completely for absolutely all of you. And for some of you, it may still feel very uncertain, but we promise you, this is actually the beginning of your payoff. Let's see what we have from the unicorns. Water wheel, end the struggle. Look at that, see? End the struggle. That's exactly where you are. Now, again, we are going to reiterate, but it's very important that you know this. The struggles are ending. Whatever is coming up doesn't need too much attention to it. Pay attention to what needs to be done quickly and move on. All it is doing, it's sort of tying up what needs to be said, so you can move forward in a very, very clear direction. The water wheel, see, look at this card. We have the water wheel with this beautiful flower. It's water. You're moving forward. There's nothing stagnant about what you're going through. And even with the ending of the struggle that you have here, again, it doesn't feel like, for most of you, huge endings, although articulating yourself and saying this, and for many of you, it's articulating what you need. I need this. I need you to step up in this way. And here's the thing. The person that you're speaking to is going to be receptive to it. Even at the beginning, if it all went a little haywire at the beginning, that's fine. They're going to be receptive to it. You're not in a situation where you're clearing out so many things that don't work. This is you figuring out how to make what you have, which is brilliant, stronger. That's all. So you have this firm foundation moving forward. But it may not feel like that. It might feel a little uncomfortable. Now, part of this, and we're just going to give it to you straight, part of what you're going through is getting used to being like this, because before you always had a remnants of understanding moving forward what things were going to look like. And sometimes for some of you, you're trying things on. Again, you have an idea of your blueprint. You have an idea of why you're here. You're not completely clueless. I don't know what I'm doing. But at the same time, the specifics of it aren't coming in. And before, the specifics were always there. This is a brand new way of you being. So get used to this. This is called you being in alignment and you trusting. Trust us. Being in this situation and staying in this moment, having faith that everything will be okay, is exactly where you need to be. If you're feeling a little off kilter about it or a little off center, it's because you've not been here before. But this is exciting. You will get used to it, though. You will absolutely get used to the idea of not having all your ducks in a row, not having to control everything that happens, putting out your energy and saying, this is what I want. But if you want to give me something better, to align with my higher self, hey universe, I'm up for that. I'm up for it. Remember, we've said this before in the channel too. Speak to the universe. They're absolutely there for you. Don't have to feel as though you're on your own. I'm ready for the next step. Show me the next step. I know I'm good enough. Show me. Show me what you're going to give me. Show me. Absolutely show me. But as you're doing this, which is a wonderful feat, wonderful place to be at, remember, these things might be coming up for you to fully integrate. We want you to spend enough time to be able to do that, but without over-focusing on it. So, and remember, this is moving you forward in a wonderful way. This is not... There's no breakdowns to be had or anything dramatic about this. May feel dramatic in that moment, but the reason why it feels dramatic in some of the moments too is because some of the things that you need to say to articulate yourself, it's been it's been within you for so long, you needed to say it, and now you're stepping up and saying, this is what I need. So the moment might feel a little explosive, but that's because it's, you know, it's really desperate to get out there, and to be able to tell the other person, to be able to articulate. And the other person may actually initially sort of react to the energy that's in and around it. But again, when everybody calms down, you know, you'll be able to talk through this and you'll be fine. Whoever's in and around you, all of the big endings have already happened, pile one. So, you know, this is just, if these moments are coming up that seem explosive, it's just, again, old stuff. It just needed to come up, but it's not a big deal. It's not really explosive. It's just dramatic. But you know what, pile one, you've got a little sense of that drama too. You can appreciate that. You know, it needs to be said. But again, you know, when you come together, it'll calm down. You know, you'll be able to articulate a little bit differently. That's on the horizon too. So let's move this a little further back. Let's get you some tarot, some extra. But this integration period is a wonderful place for you to be. It's not a holding place per se. The void can be a holding place sometimes. It's a very protective holding place, and it's a great place to be. And there is an essence of, for you, pile one, really preparing you to move forward. So it does feel like a void type circumstance, but it's not quite. You've already sort of put your foot out, your toe out into the world. You're going to be moving forward a lot quicker than you think you are. So it's not quite the void. Sometimes the void keeps you, sometimes you can be in a void type situation for a year or so, or a couple of weeks, or this. This is going to move forward quite quickly. I think my cat's trying to get up here, so if she does, and let's have them see. 3 of Cups, here we have, and we have a lot of purple here. 2 coming in with that beautiful chakra. So there's celebration coming in. So again, feeling as though that's not really quite the void. It's almost like you're moving out of the void, and this is just before you move forward. So, you know, at the same time, we want to support you. If you feel as though you need to disappear, if you're in a position to be able to do that, if you want to disappear from the world for a little while, if you need to put your energy first, if you need to cut ties with the outside world right now while you put your energy and really focus the limelight on yourself, do what you need to do. We fully support you. Absolutely. But also, this is coming back for you to be able to celebrate everything that you've been through. And again, we have this element of moving forward, this element of celebration, the people that you have in your life being absolutely ecstatic about what it is that you're about to achieve. There's a lot of beauty that's coming in and around you. Some of you may have ended something, but it's not a violent end. It's something that you knew that was coming to an end, and you're ready for that new beginning. Whether you finish a job or whether you finish something, it's really about, but it was expected and it's something that you wanted. So some of you could be celebrating that and moving forward, but you're moving forward with extreme intention here. Some of you might be coming into ready to reap what you have sowed, ready to see what the universe is going to bring back to you, because you've been working on a lot of stuff and putting a lot of stuff out into the world. You're ready to come back and see what happens. But there's celebration, there's movement, there's success coming in, and there's success being celebrated with amazing people in and around you, because you've gone out of your way to cut what no longer works. So what's left now, for some of you, may not be a lot, but you know, your soul family's coming in. That's coming in. They're coming in. Don't worry. So you may have cut the ties with a few situations, a few people. So you know, you have a few people around you, maybe not a lot, but the people that are around you are of quality, and they are going to be celebrating with you as you move forward. So not really in the void necessarily, like 1 foot in the void, 1 foot coming out. Very exciting times. And then you have the 9 of Pentacles. Enter the magic. Beautiful. So living here in the now, again, coming back to the present moment, that's where your magic is, and that's where your success is. Now, if your ego mind, we all do this because it wants to step one step ahead, get you ready. And it's not really about control for you anymore, because you've worked with that. You're in alignment. But your mind is busy, and it really wants to work with you. It really wants to say, all right, let's be prepared. Let's get this ready. Let's do this. you know, and that's a wonderful thing for your mind to be doing, because you know, you like to be prepared. A lot of you like to be prepared, but at the same time, you have that personality type where you like to be completely unprepared too. Um, it's either one or the other. But you know, sometimes it's not, you don't need to be prepared per se. So what we can say here for you, when you get into that mindset of needing to be prepared, and then it goes into this feeling confused and feeling lost, come back into the present moment. Know that your faith is there. You've sown all the seeds. You're waiting for them to come in, and that is your action in that moment. In that actual moment is your brand new moment, without trying to see or prepare anything. There's nothing for you to prepare. The universe, just by stepping up or meeting the universe halfway, you are going to be able to do what you need to do. So if there's any of that, we can give you a little advice there. If there's any of that where you try to get prepared, or you try to make a list, or you try to do, there's nothing intrinsically wrong with lists. But if it gets into that understanding where you're feeling a little bit lost because nothing feels right as you try to prepare, then stay in that present moment. All the beauty, and that's where you can connect with your guides too, and they'll really let you know what's coming, or they give you a feeling of what's coming, and you don't need to know how it looks. But success is there when you stay in that present moment. So if you come out of that alignment a little bit, and this is just your mind trying to help. That's it. It's not even an ego thing. Again, you're not trying to control. Just come back into that present moment. Go back into that meditative state. Come back, and you can absolutely say to the universe, all right, I'm in the present moment. I'm not trying to do this anymore. I'm not in control. I'm releasing. I'm surrendering. But you know, give me a bone here. Give me a clue. Give me something. You know, and they will in that present moment. But success is on its way. Then we have here under end the struggle. Yeah, you've got the King of Rods here. You've got passion. You've got this very masculine energy of the King of Wands. They are ready to move forward. Again, solidifying everyone and everything that you have in your life is exactly whom and what you need for success to move forward. Absolutely. Now, if there are a few of you out there who are like, all right, you know, I'm feeling this, but there may be one other thing that I need to do before I move forward. There's one other situation I need to take care of. Do what you need to do. Intrinsically, you will know who you are. But for the most part, for most of you, you've already not cut loose. That kind of sounds awful. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe that's exactly the verbiage that you need. But you've already cut what no longer works for you. And sometimes you didn't have to do it in a dramatic way. You just made the decision and they fell out of your life. The universe has been stepping up and meeting you halfway in this way, in a very, very specific way. And, you know, even if people keep coming back and you try to give them a second chance, the universe shows you exactly who they are, or we should say specifically where they are right now. Because it's not really who people are, because people change all the time and are capable of great change, but it's where people are. People will treat you accordingly based on where they are and what they can give you based on what they're doing in their lives, what they're coping with, you know, where they are. So the universe, you know, if people have tried to come back into your life, the universe will show you where they are. And from there you'll say, there's no room for me here. I can't do this anymore. I'm not doing this. And all you can say to the universe is, I'm not doing this, and they've cut them loose. So all of this has been done for you. You have this beautiful energy. And again, even if a lot of you are sitting there going, well, there's not that many people left, that's fine. Again, it's all about quality right now as you move forward. It's important to have really strong ties with maybe just a few people, because your soul family is coming in. Your soul family is coming in. You're just at the beginning of sort of taking off or moving up to the next stage of what it is that you want to do. But the next stage is significant. So new people are coming in. So sometimes you've got to clear out to have the space for new people to come in. So don't worry. It's all about quality. And that's what you have. You have this real action, masculine energy behind you, but this real authoritative, beautiful, willing to take a chance, but having that kinetic energy, having that passion, but knows when to move. Not exactly calculated, but moving with intention, moving with confidence, moving with energy, moving with a surety. And that's what you have around you with this beautiful energy here. All right, let's finish off with a couple of these. beautiful dice here get you some extra information, pile one. All right, so keep the peace again. Definitely keep the peace. And the way that we've said that is to keep the peace is to remain in that moment, that absolute moment where you are. Keep in that present moment. Keep yourself back into that present moment, because in the present moment really does unveil the future in a way. So if you're getting a little confused, if you're getting a little overwhelmed, come back into that present moment. Everything you need is in that moment. It's not reaching out anymore. You won't, in fact, if you reach out, because we always say live spherically instead of moving just in one direction, right? But if you try to reach out your feelers too far in the future, you're going to get confused. Not only will you get confused, but you might actually get sort of crossed wires, and you may not get the right information back. So if you're feeling into a situation and you're trying to say to yourself, is this a good situation for me? It's a good thing to try it on and do a little meditation. That's fine. But if you try to feel too much into the future and try to use that mind too much, it might give you cross wires where it's telling you, oh, maybe this isn't a good thing for you. But actually, when you come back into yourself and come back into alignment, it's all going to work out. See? So come back into that present moment. Trust that present moment. And in that, you keep a clear mind. And that's where your happy place is going to be while you go through this integration period. And you've already started going through it. This is something that you're already aware of. Your energy has been lifted. It's been moving up. This is a plateau for you. Again, not really in the void, but moving out of the void. So hang in there. Sorry, my cat's in the background. Screaming her little head off. So those are the messages that we have for you, pile one. You've absolutely got this. This is a beautiful place for you to be in. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. We are sending you so much love and so much support for exactly where you are and exactly who you are. You stay safe and sane. And until we meet again, take care. Bye-bye. Okay, pile two. If you chose pile two, this is your reading. Again, we are doing what breakthrough are you on the verge of, and we'll get you some more information in and around that. We're going to start off with some oracle cards and get you some more information as we move forward with tarot. So let's answer the question first of all. What breakthrough are you on the verge of? Number one, the healer. I am loving and compassionate and able to bring healing to others. Okay, so the breakthrough. Now, for those of you who are healers, which is everybody in this is something that you were aware of, but we have the number 8 here on its side, the infinity symbol. This is a way of stepping into this profound responsibility of being a healer on this level, where it's part of clicking into your blueprint and reaching people far and wide. So, and this is, you know, when we do this, it's kind of interesting because there's an energy that reaches far and wide, that takes a certain amount of responsibility, saying, all right, this is what I want to do now. I want to take this one step further. And at the same time, it's a very personal part of it, because we have to learn to be loving and compassionate to ourselves first to be able to do that, because of course we have to work with our inner in order to put that out into the external world. So there's two different elements that you've been working with, and this has really been coming together. So this real responsibility of being ready to shine, to be able to show your truth, to be able to show who you are, and not be able to back down from that, just to say, you know, and a lot of you, because you're so empathic, you know, you elicit a lot of different reactions to people. So, and you always instinctively want people to be okay. You always want people to be okay no matter what. You really do have that compassionate beauty to you. It could have gone against you just a little bit because, you know, you've gone out of your way to make people happy. Like you could have been a people pleaser. And this really comes from two different places. First of all, you needed to do that for yourself, obviously, but there's this genuine intent of you wanting everybody to be okay, regardless of what they think and feel, however they are. You want them to feel loved. And you have a lot of that. Now, the way in which you put that out into the world, you've had to sort of pull back and figure that out for yourself, because sometimes it's, again, not gone in your favor, and it kind of could have hurt you a little bit in the world. So there were a few different things that needed to come into alignment, that you've got that, the external way of showing up and really being clear about who you are and not dumbing yourself down in any way, and also giving that love and compassion to yourself, building that really firm foundation, which of course gives you the confidence to say, don't treat me like that when somebody, does that, because you have that beautiful sensitive heart. And for some of you, that vulnerability you share with certain people, but for some of you, you've hidden that also. You might have a sort of a stoic kind of way of being in the world. Not all of you are really obvious that you have this really sweet, jelly belly underbelly. When people get to know you, they really see that about you. But you've had, for some of you, you really kind of show up. And some of you are really just open and really sweet and like that. And some of you you're all really sweet, but some of you do show up in a little bit of a different way. And you integrating that inner child and feeling comfortable in that way has been part of your healing process, so that you don't have to show up quite so stoically in the world. Now, for some of you, you do have that sort of magical mysticism. So when you show up, not everybody's really going to get an idea of who you are. It's going to confuse them. That's part of your personality. That's something that's probably not going to shift. Not everybody can gauge who you are, and that also confuses people. And not everybody reacts very well to that, because people don't like the unexpected. People get very, very nervous, when things are crumbling, or when they can't ascertain who somebody is. They can't label somebody. They can't put it. I mean, this is what's happening in the outer world, right? Everybody is very, very clear on what they believe in, even if it's a little bit out there, because everybody wants to have something set. Everybody is very, very clear on having an understanding that this is a way, this is a way, this is a way. So, and that's completely understandable, because especially right now, everything's crumbling. So they want something to hold on to, some kind of truth, right? So for you, what you've done is quite the opposite. Again, having this universal truth where it's completely spherical, where it includes everybody else's truth. You are of that person where you just allow everybody to be who they are. You don't put anybody in labels, and you give them room to grow. That's the thing. When people put people in labels or put people in boxes, they put them in this, and the other person can feel it, right? You can absolutely feel it. We've all been put in a box, right? And you can absolutely feel it. Now, some people don't even have to say anything. You can feel the energy about it. So you've worked with this expansive energy, and it's a beautiful energy, but because it's so expansive, you did need to have not limits on it, but you needed to work with it in such a way that you weren't constantly exhausted, or you were giving all of your energy away to people that weren't appreciating it. So this is something that you've worked with the 8, with the infinity, coming back into this really full integration of what healer means for you. You're ready to take that responsibility. You know those boundaries now. You don't put people in a box, and it's really beautiful. You really have this open-ended version of healing. So when you work with people and when you speak to people, people sense how they can grow. They don't feel like they're in a box, and they can feel like, the possibilities are endless. And this is a true gift that you can give people, and you're ready to take that to the next level. Some of you may be feeling as though you want to take your business to the next level. Some of you may be just ready to take on more responsibility. Sorry, that is my cat in the background. She just ate, and she gets very happy, so she sings afterwards. If you can see that on camera, it's a good thing. It sounds really strange, but she always does that after she eats. So, but this is really about, again, coming back into your energy, whatever you're putting out there, coming back into you and having that balance. So giving yourself that love and compassion. For some of you, didn't always have that either growing up. You may have had it growing up, but you felt really sort of at odds in the world sometimes. And for some of you, you've had this really happy-go-lucky. Some of you have been quite stoic, and that sort of mysterious element. All of you have a little bit of a mysterious element, but for some of you, you have this sort of happy-go-lucky, beautiful energy. And that's worked in a way that people don't think that you have these dark times, and they treat you accordingly. So you've had to take that stand for yourself. You've had to stand up for yourself. You've had to take that time. You've had to say, no, it's my time to heal. Whichever version of you and you might be a little bit of all of them based on everything that you've been through and different aspects of your life. integrating all of that and building this beautiful plateau for you to move forward and bring this gorgeous healing energy to the world on your own terms. So let's see, what breakthrough are you on the verge of? We've done that. Now, how can we help you with this? What other advice can we give you? Oneness. Look for the common humanity. Invoke Lemurian and light. Okay, so this is something that you've been working on, and this is something that you're able to do in a way that a lot of people are working on. Some people are and some people aren't. It really doesn't matter. But this is something that you've always wanted to do, always wanted to see the oneness in everyone. Now, you've been capable of seeing the oneness in everyone, but at the same time, in order for you to really appreciate that, we want to see this beautiful card here. In order for you to truly appreciate that, you've had to be at a level where you broke everything down. Mildred? Yeah, sorry. You broke everything down and then saw the darkness kind of everywhere for a little while. And this was part of the process of coming back together to see the oneness, right? So you're coming out of that side of it to be able to come to see the oneness. Now, everybody does things differently. There's no wrong or right way to move forward. For you, it was really important to be able to see the darkness, to be able to understand the darkness, to be able to see the darkness from the inside out. For you to really appreciate the oneness and for you to feel that connectivity. Now, there's elements in your life, there's times in your life when you felt that oneness and you felt that connectivity, but it doesn't always stay. You sort of come in and out of it. For it to be part of who you are, this is what you needed to do. Now, this is not an easy process by any stretch of the imagination to be able to experience all of this darkness. But of course, we see so much light in the darkness. All of the messages sometimes are in the darkness. We can really appreciate the light. So the path that you've taken has not been an easy one, but it's been a fortuitous one. It's been a glorious one. And you have been absolutely held up in the light all the way through, even in your darkest moments. Most of you, even if you felt really alone, there was the sense that somebody else was there. A lot of you were star seeds. Now, whether it's Lemurian or whether it's Palladian, it really doesn't matter. A lot of people ask, which star system do I come from? And the truth of the matter is, it's probably not just one. You probably incarnated from many different star systems, and you hold all of the light codes for all of them. But there's usually one that people, for some of you, are feeling Orion, actually, for some of you, and Palladian, but Orion too. So it's not just Lemurian. But you're feeling those light codes. You came in with those light codes. You knew that you had the ability to be able to do this work. Again, it's not for the faint-hearted by any stretch of the imagination, but you held out there, and this is exactly where you are. So your breakthrough is actually feeling that beautiful oneness and being able to stay in that oneness and absolutely knowing from a shadow of a doubt that everything's going to be okay. When people tell you that, you're in the midst of despair and you're like, oh, that's really sweet, pass the ice cream, but you don't get it yet. You want to trust them, but you don't feel it yet. You're going to feel this in your cells. It's going to radiate. You've got this. You absolutely know this. You could be like everything's seemingly falling apart. You're like, no, something else is coming along. I can feel it. I can absolutely feel it. It's a beautiful way for you to be, and this is a gorgeous breakthrough. And again, you've done all the work to get here. You've gone through all of that darkness to be able to see. It's like a journey through the darkness, really. And it's an interpersonal journey. You've done your own shadow work. It's a universal journey. You've done the collective journey of darkness. You've done it all, and it needed to be done. Not everybody needs to do it this way. Your blueprint is different to somebody else's. This is the way that you want to do it. It was important for you to experience the darkness so you could shed it once and for all. Now, that's not to say that you'll never have darkness. That's not it. You'll just appreciate the darkness and see it differently and work with it completely differently. It's not going to appear that dark to you. It's going to have an luminous quality to it, which is a strange thing to say because it's darkness, but that's the way it is for you. What else do we have here? Greenwood, the awakening. Look at this gorgeousness. Absolutely. Look at you holding that beautiful flower, ready to give that to the world. absolutely holding space in a brand new way. The lightness is there for you now. Your frequency is higher. You'll be able to keep that. Before, because you were like such a sponge, you could have such the really, really, really high energy, beautiful energy, go into a room, and then you could get sick from the energy because people are toxic, toxic, whatever is going on in people's lives. That's no longer going to happen for you. You're actually going to be setting the precedence for the energy when you walk into that room now. This is a wonderful thing for you to be. And it wasn't a bad thing that you couldn't do it before. Oh my goodness, not at all. Actually, it was a beautiful thing for you to be that open, to be that sponge-like. And again, this was part of your presence. This was part of your journey through the darkness to learn to feel absolutely all of this, right? Because in all presence of darkness, you see, in darkness is just a disconnection from source. That's all it is. So it's the shadows are there because it's a disconnection from the light. It's a disconnection from source. When you hold that light now, you there might be some shadows, but you create that light now. Nothing really around you can stay in darkness anymore because you're holding your light. Whereas before, your light would go off and shoot off in so many different directions that it would be taken in by people who needed it. Wonderful thing to do. Maybe leaves you a little exhausted, feeling a little sick sometimes, but it's a wonderful and admirable thing to do. But now you're working with the light a little bit differently. You can keep your frequency, and you can still beam it around, and people might have reactions to it, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. That's their right to have whatever reactions they want, but it doesn't mean that it's going to deplete any of the work that you are doing. So let's go ahead and get you some more information. We're actually going to get you some tarot, and of course we've got the unicorn tarot going on. So let's move this back just a little bit so we have enough room for our beautiful tarot. We can get you some more information. So let's see. None of them are quite. All right, there we go. And one more here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So under our first card, Ace of Cups. Look at that gorgeousness. This really is a beautiful time for you moving forward. A gracious time for you. A lot of things that you wanted. New love coming into, or if you have love already, just this new love coming in, this just oneness and everything. Also for some of you, soulmates coming in also, but there's a dream that you've wanted, and this is now absolutely available for you too. And keeping yourself in that healer mode. And you don't even see yourself as a healer, because really you're shining the light so people can do the work themselves, because people have immense power. People often give away their power, or they don't realize how powerful they are, or they've been told for their entire lives that they're not powerful, and they start to believe people, and that's the saddest thing. But you have this beautiful graciousness, this beautiful underlying sort of fairy elemental energy, and really being in touch with your inner child, something that you've worked on too, to integrate fully, to be able to show that to people. So when you see people can see the beauty in who they are and trust that. Absolutely gorgeous. Really, really, all of the emotionality, the empath coming in, the ups and downs of being an empath and seeing it as a superpower, and sometimes feeling as though it's too much for you, it's overwhelming. Integrating in such a way that it balances out in this beautiful way where this oneness just comes in. You've done the work. It's absolutely wonderful. Queen of Swords, look at you again. Now there's a fierceness to you too. You have a protective mode for those who are, the underdogs and those who have been sort of abused, and you won't stand for it. And this is something that you've never really stood for. It's not something that it's brand new for you. You've come into this world to be able to do it, but you can do it in such a way now where you have this strength and you have this beauty, and when you talk, people listen, and you don't really like to put people in their place, but there is a time. It doesn't even say in the Bible there's a time for this, there's a time for that. There is a time, and you have this divine timing now of just being able to tell the truth, and it hits home with people. You don't even have to beat around the bush. You'll just say it. You're the sort of person where people can have a stranger can have a conversation with you, and somehow you come home and go, I met the strangest, most luminous, beautiful person randomly at the bus stop. I'm now going to do this. It's that sort of thing. Coming into that energy. And because you've made that beautiful path through the darkness, you've come into this oneness. This aspect of your personality, which absolutely was there before, is so pronounced now that it integrates into everything that you do. And it's absolutely gorgeous. And this power is felt by others. People will listen to you. Absolutely. They always have. But you've never felt as though you had the sort of vavum to really back it up. There's a little bit of self-doubt now. I don't know if I'm good at it. I don't know, even though you do, you don't. But this is a way of stepping up actually in the external world, which is a little bit different, which has that confidence. You exude it now. And this is part of the payoff for what you're doing. And under awakening, you have the Fool. Look at this. I love it when these beautiful cards come up and, we've just done them on camera. They're brand new. You can't make this shit up. Pardon my French. The Awakening, the Fool, brand new, walking forward, absolutely brand new. But at the same time, it feels as though, oddly, that you've been here before. But it is brand new. It also feels brand new too. It's exciting, exhilarating. It's a little bit off-putting sometimes. But you have that faith there. You have that confidence and you have that beauty. Stick with it. This is absolutely, the Fool is coming. You've got the unicorn behind you. You've got all the wealth of knowledge here. He's on the edge of the cliff. But here's the thing. He knows that there's something else coming in once he steps off that cliff, because you're taking all of this information with you. And for the first time in your life, you're absolutely ready just to kind of go for it, and just take on whatever comes your way, whatever feels right, because your intuition is absolutely clued in right now. So just go for it. You're being guided. You've got this. Absolutely. Always listen to your heart. Always listen to your intuition. It's on infinity right now. So you are all good. Let's do for these. Let's finish off with these beautiful dice here. Absolutely. Moon energy, pyramid energy too. All of the beautiful education, everything that you've done, all the experiences you have coming in together and pointing up towards the moon too. So you've built this incredible foundation of spirituality and self-worth and self-knowledge. Self-worth being key, as you've got that Queen of Swords too, that mystical, magical energy of the way in which you illuminate again is usually from sort of the moon sense, because you work so much in the darkness too, right? Not that you don't have a sunny sensibility. In fact, some of you may be Leos, but it's really, there's an energy of you too that's a little bit mysterious, a little bit not able to explain. That's because the way in which you illuminate is in the darkness. And that's what you're here to do, because you understand it. So stay the course. You've got this. Awakening the Fool. The Ace of Cups. Absolutely gorgeousness. Pile 2, we are sending you so much love, absolutely, and sending you support exactly where you are for exactly who you are. Thanks for coming in and checking in with us today. We absolutely appreciate your energy and everything that you do out into the world. Stay safe and sane until we meet again. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay, pile 3, if you chose this pile, as a reminder, we are doing What Breakthrough Are You on the Verge of? And we will go ahead and, of course, get you some more information in and around that question. We have some oracle cards, and then we are going to move into some tarot. So first of all, let's go ahead. We're going to use this one. Let's go ahead and answer that question for you. So what breakthrough are you on the verge of? All right, embrace change. I move easily and confidently through the changes in my life. And we have the number 31 here. Look at this. So all of you, and we always say this, with pile 1, 2, and 3, there's usually a sort of a red thread going through, because we're still, even though they're individual piles in the general reading, we are reading from the collective. All of you on the verge of a change one way or another. So for you, embracing the change and understanding that trusting the change is the big breakthrough for you. Now, personality-wise, you love change one way or another. It depends on how it shows up, obviously, and that's the main thing. But it's about trusting the change. Sometimes you've had change in your life that has changed, change has come in, but it's not always been seen as a positive one way or another. So, we don't want to be all woo woo or I was going to say Santa Fe, which is where I live, woo woo or spiritual about it. But we want to remind you of something. When we see things from the sort of objective, the macro, from the higher self, some things that we go through would change. We see it and we have that negative connotation with it. But it's something that we need to go through in order to actually move through it and to integrate that information and to heal from. So it's totally understandable that when we live in these sort of good bad moments, and we all do, and we're human. Hello, we live in a world of polarities. Obviously, if you don't believe that, just look at the world right now. But you're moving through that, and so it's not like you don't like change. Sometimes change can make you a little bit nervous, and that's totally understandable. Now, you also understand that every change that you've been through, everything's been through, you've come out on the other side. We can definitely say, pile 3, that you're a survivor. There's no two ways about that. But you're moving from surviving to thriving, and this energy is really getting solidified right now, and this is your major breakthrough. You've moved out of surviving in a really large way, quite, well, not recently, but you've been out of the surviving mode for a while. But it's about really integrating and really cementing in the thriving mode. Because it's brand new for you, because there's always been an element of surviving, it's a matter of trusting the new changes that are going to come up. Now, we can always say that there's going to be lots of rainbows and unicorn farts, and everything's going to be hunky-dory no matter what. And of course, life gives us ups and downs. That's the way it does. However, the way in which we deal with them, the way in which we see them and react to them can be completely different. So in the past, you may have reacted to things slightly different. So, there is that faith to come back with the universe that, no matter what changes come in, they're all needed. All of these changes are needed, whether we put a label as good or bad on them. But really, at the end of the day, this is about understanding that you're solidifying for once and for all. And it's really beautiful. You're absolutely solidifying this gorgeous energy of thriving, and in that anything can happen. And also in that energy of thriving, we really do understand once and for all that everything happens for a reason, and you can see that and understand it and integrate it, and you don't get so clammy. You don't sort of brace yourself and react to things and sort of shut down a little bit, expecting the worst when something comes in. And you're expecting something great to come in, you're expecting something great to come in, and then all of a sudden it feels like it's going to fall apart, oh my goodness, and expecting the worst. So you're breaking through out of that habit, and that habit was formed in order to protect you. And also because it's not that, we always say you put out the energy into the world and then that's what you get back. I mean, that's the fundamentals on a really, 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 really basic level of law of attraction. But, it's a lot more nuanced, a lot more complex than that. And sometimes we're not putting out the energy for things to come back to us. We're actually working through some karmic element, or we're working through something on a larger sphere that the universe wants us to do and shed before we move into, and they place us into something bigger, right? So it's not always that easy to say and just that clear cut, oh, well, that's the energy that you're putting out and that's what you got back in. Sometimes there's an element of that, but again, much more nuance. So even when you are working on yourself, there's just a little bit of that distrust of, when something looks like it's getting a little icky, or you're not going to be, or it's falling away and it's moving into the negative, or it's not quite where it needs to be. There has been in the past this little bit of distrust. Oh my God, it's going to fall away. Well, embracing this change, understanding your breakthrough is to really firmly again cement right into this beautiful energy that you have. And it's really, really gorgeous. This energy that you have, it's really in the thriving, that knowing that everything comes your way is preparing you for something bigger, and that no matter what comes in, even if there's some spanners in the works every now and again, it's still going to be associated with luck. It's still going to be beautiful for you. You're still going to sail through it. You're still going to work through it really easily. It's not going to be all hands on deck, or let's break everything down and deal with this and have it be a big drama. It's not that at all. So for you, it's this effortless, No matter what happens, I can handle it. It is for a reason. I'm going to be able to tweak with it, come back with it. But at the end of the day, I expect everything to fall into place beautifully, and I'm going to show up for my life, and I'm going to expect the best. So this is cementing this for you. This is not a small feat by any stretch of the imagination. Again, you've been out of the surviving phase for quite a while, actually. So moving into this new phase of expecting good things and knowing great things are coming in. This is not small, because you've been in a little bit of a holding pattern one way or another, and trying things on and moving forward. And, maybe things haven't been moving quite as smoothly or as quickly as you want. But the holding pattern was there for a while. It wasn't there to shut you down in any way. Again, it was setting you in place to solidify this. So you can sort of also, you're being asked to step up into what it is that you want. In this holding pattern, in this holding place, you've been asked to maybe revise how you see yourself, what it is that you think you want. And you don't have to be that specific. You can, as I said before, when I work with people, when I work with clients, it's all in the verbiage too. I want a big house. And then, some people feel really, and I've said this before, some people feel really guilty about asking for a big house, but say it, approach it like this. If I have a big house, plenty of space for me to have a beautiful business in which I can help people from, but also be able to separate that business and have a happy family life. There's plenty of space for people to come in and feel comfortable in my home. Then I am going to be grounded. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be expansive. I'm going to be able to do my work. I'm going to be able to show up and shine and click into my blueprint and be the best version of myself. Now, see how that changes, when we talk about that versus, I want a big house, So really stepping into the verbiage of what it is that you want and being very clear and knowing that you absolutely deserve it. You absolutely will get it. Even if there's just a shift in the verbiage, and really understanding, going to the crux of why you want something, and then understanding from that you absolutely deserve it. If you work from home, this is just an example, okay, a very specific example. If you work from home, who wouldn't want a comfortable space where you will be able to work from home, but also have a family life somewhat separate, and keep your home open for people should they want to come in? And who wouldn't want that? That doesn't sound unreasonable. So for you, it's about leveling up what it is that you want, getting that verbiage right. Now, the universe doesn't need that verbiage. The universe knows that you deserve it. This is the verbiage for you to realize that you absolutely deserve it, for you to integrate that information. So when you ask for it, all of your energy of not surviving anymore, but thriving is all intact. So when you move forward, you're beelining for it. The universe has no choice but to say, all right, let's give it to them. Let's do it. This is a beautiful house. And they will deliver it in the most magical, strange way. Now, and that's the beauty of it. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't have the money, my credit score's shite, whatever it is, and they will deliver it in the most magical way. And you could sit there and list 100 different ways you think you're going to get it, and it will never be quite right. It'll be even more magical and even ludicrous, right? It absolutely will. And that's the kind of life that you're stepping into, this beautiful foundation that you have. So let's go into, the breakthrough, that's what you're on the verge of. Actually, that's what you're walking very strongly into. You're ready for this. So let's get you some more information around how to solidify this and how we can help you with that. Refreshing oasis, nurture yourself, gather your strength. Well, we also talked about this too. So maybe it's not so of a coincidence that we talked about the house and nurturing yourself, asking for what it is that you need, putting your needs first. And again, being very, very clear about the verbiage that you use. And for some of you, it might even feel a little bit like you're tricking yourself because you're not used to putting your energy first. We promise you, if you put your energy first, you're going to show up for people 1,000 times better than you ever could have doing things in any other way when you not working to the best of your ability because you're always putting other people first. This is something that but also having a safe space, understanding. You see, when you're in thriving, you're always waiting for the shoe to drop, the other shoe to drop. You're always waiting for something to go wrong, and you're ready. You're ready to do this. So relaxing into this new energy, really solving that, coming into this new energy of really understanding that you're in thriving now, that you're being looked after. You don't always have to look over your shoulder. You don't always have to anticipate the worst. Everything's going to happen. Even if there's a spanner in the works or things fall apart, something better is coming along. Or if things don't go according to plan, something else is going to come in and it's all going to work out. So this is for you. How we can advise you is to really understand coming into this beautiful energy of thriving is to relax. Learn to relax your body. A lot of you are always tense one way or another, or you hold energy in your stomach or your shoulders or even your jaw. Sometimes headaches for some of you with that third eye, because you're always ready for action. You're always leaping up to see what needs to be done. You're also that person like for action when people come in. What should I do? You're always there to help other people to do that too, because you know how to do it. You know, you actually are fantastic in a crisis. You know, most of you, if not all of you, are, you know, even though you're constantly, or you've been constantly on survival mode, when it comes to things falling apart, you're like, okay, we'll do this, this, and this is what we need to do. You're very calm, you move in there, you've got that real Taurus moon kind of energy, that real grounded energy, and people trust you, you know, people trust you in a crisis. So you're leaving all of that behind. Where you're moving into, you're learning to nurture yourself permanently, properly. You have that, you know, you nurture yourself, you take yourself out, you do all of that, you treat yourself. But this is a way of integrating, so you nurture yourself constantly, 24/7, 365 days a year, gathering your strength and also making your world safe, your inner world safe. When you're in that hypersensitivity, again, you're always waiting for that shoe to drop. You have these moments where you feel completely safe and you're completely open, but there's always an element of you waiting for something else to come in. So this is creating that safe space for you, knowing that everything will be fine, and this beautiful energy that you have where you can just relax. All of your energy can relax. The headaches can cease to happen. Any stomach issues that come in, again, we're not doctors. Do what you need to do. Always listen to your intuition. But any ailing things that you've had before that may come out of constant stress has the chance now, has the space to be healed completely and sent up to source. So this is a wonderful time for you to take advantage of that, and also to put yourself first and put the beauty of who you are and everything you've been through first. There's nobody like you in the world. You're completely unique. Yes, we're connected to everyone, and yes, we are exactly the same, but you're also unique. You have a unique blueprint, and you're going to honor that. And the way that you're going to honor that is know that the world is safe and be able to live spherically in any direction that you want to, and take those chances that you want to, instead of looking over your shoulder and waiting for that shoe to drop. You know, you're talented enough. You've worked all of that. You've got enough experience in the world. The camera's coming back. It was out of focus. So this is the next step for you. And again, it's not a passive step. This is a really big step forward. So what else do we have? Dragonfly. Everything is going to be fine. Look at that wonderful energy. The Dragonfly 2. We also have 2, the sign of a couple. You are being supported. This could be significant other or significant other coming in, but also your relationship to source, the relationship to the universe, that trust again, knowing that a friend of mine said years and years and years ago, and I only really got it recently, is that you can never, if you're born into the world, right, you can't fall out of it. You can't fall out of the universe. You're here. You're going to be looked after. You are connected to source. If you don't feel connected to source, we are the ones that are disconnecting ourselves. Now, there's no blame. There are many different reasons why we've done that, and that's why we're here to help each other get back on there. But source hasn't disconnected you. You know, we do it for various different reasons. If you're here, you're connected, you are protected, you can't fall out of the world. Everything's going to be fine. It's about cocooning yourself now in any way that you want. You don't have to physically do it in your house and not see anyone, but it's about cocooning and really gestating in this new version of this reality where everything is safe. Your brand new beginnings are here. You can move in any direction and everything is going to be fine no matter what, because you know what? It's true. Everything is going to be fine. And constantly controlling it and seeing where, you know, and trying to have all your ducks in a row has not always worked for you. So now your time is to release. You're already in alignment. You've already moved out of the survival mode, and you're already in alignment. You don't want to control anymore. It doesn't work for you anymore. All of this is embracing that the universe is there for you, and this is a safe world. There are beautiful people in this world. There are people out there that are genuinely doing their best. They absolutely are. And our heart goes out to anyone in Pile 3 who feels as though there's so much evil in the world. Of course, we're not going to tell you that there isn't darkness in the world, but if you've seen more of that than you've seen in the light because of what you've been through, we're sending you so much healing and love right now. Absolutely. We want you to spend from now on in knowing that there's still beautiful people out there. We want you to focus on that and become that reality. That becomes your forefront. Everything working out. Beautiful people out there, people connected, people caring about each other. Humanity, it's happening. It's happening. It's happened. It absolutely has. And you will see that more in your life once you align with it. You're already there. So this is an easy feat for you because of the work that you've done. So it's just the natural step for you, and you're not coming in kicking and screaming. This is a very peaceful movement forward. This is a very easily and confidently moving forward. Again, she's moving into the light. She's moving into the light. So as we said in Pile 2, if you're of the light, then the darkness that comes in and around you gets exposed. Oh, look at that. Come on. Ace of Pentacles just shot right out underneath that. You cannot go wrong. So, you know, if you're of the light, which you are, and you stay in that light, which of course you will, then any darkness that comes in is going to be shrouded by your, you're going to inundate it with your light. So if any spanners come in or into the works or whatever, the light will come in and dissipate it. You'll know exactly what to do to move through it. You know, you're not going to have these problems like you did before. So, you know, embrace the change. This is a beautiful way of saying if you embrace the change, you will be embracing that change. And then that Ace of Pentacles coming in. Nothing that you can't achieve, everything that you've wanted. And most of you know exactly what you want. It's achievable once you let in the universe and allow the universe to deliver it to you. And part of that is knowing that you deserve it. And you do know that. You've been working on that. You absolutely do know that you deserve it without a shadow of a doubt. So it's just about embracing the world and see what that world looks like when you embrace everything. What does that world look like? Oh, yeah, everything's fine. And not in this like, oh, I'm not dealing with anything, this woo-woo. Oh my God, I'm not dealing with that. That is not you. That is not you. You've dealt with everything. You know it. You know, this is not this hippy-dippy, oh yeah, everything's going to be fine. I'm not going to take care of anything. I'm just going to, no, that's not what we're saying. And you know that. So refreshing oasis. The Hermit, absolutely, that gorgeous. I'm going to turn this over to everything is going to be fine. I'm feeling that. And you've got that Wheel of Fortune, absolutely gorgeous. So some of you have solidified yourself outside of the world again, being on the outside looking in. And this is the way that you needed to do it, to break down the world and figure it out. And that's totally understandable. You know, this is a new way of you to integrate with faith and beauty moving forward. So in the Hermit, there was a lot of you have gone through the Hermit stage, and a lot was done in this stage. Now there could be a little bit of nervousness as you realize you feel like you're moving out of the Hermit stage, but you feel as though, you know, I've been in this stage so long. I'm just, you know, you turn the nervousness into excitement. And also we want to remind you that there is a part of you that's really brilliant with people, and really charming and gorgeous, and this energy is absolutely dying to sort of lunge out of you again. It's not like, you know, some of you are also quite awkward and sweet and gorgeous in that way. It's not like you haven't had those awkward moments, because you feel everybody's energy. So sometimes when you don't put your energy first, you can have these awkward moments, but you also have these beautiful moments of being integrated. And some of you have this really dark, beautiful sense of humor, and you have this gorgeous way of putting everybody at ease. You can also speak to people from completely different backgrounds, and part of that is because you have a sense of how people work, and you really listen to people. So, you know, you don't go in there just you are yourself, but you let the room speak for itself, and then you just come in, and you're very charming, you're very beautiful, and there's an essence of that personality that's really excited about being integrated into the world again. So concentrate on that excitement. The Wheel of Fortune again is shifting for you. Under everything is going to be fine. What you've asked for is, and again, we feel really weird about saying it's owed to you, because, you know, people take that too far and say this is owed to me, and it's completely out of context, and it's not owed to you. But in a blueprint, you've come in to do this work. This work is owed to you because this is the work you're supposed to be doing. So everything that's in your blueprint is coming, it will come to fruition, and it's coming in a divine timing element. And you know, you've been sowing these seeds. You know what it, most of you know what it is. You may not know specifically what it looks like, and some of you may still be wondering what that will feel like, because it's been sort of this distant dream, this sort of lotus flower, something for you to accomplish at the end of your life. You visualized it, you believed it was going to happen, but there was a part of you that didn't know when. And you know, so this is all about you moving out of the hermit stage, but also taking all of that element of the hermit stage too. You'll always be a loner. There's a loner element to you, and it's a very, very powerful element. We'll tell you why. You really have the stance when you walk into a room that you can handle anything on your own. You're here. You totally understand that you're here on your own, but you're here to be connected too. So, you know, people usually play games with each other, and the way that they do is they try to disconnect people from other things or whatever. You've already had that done to you. You've already done that to yourself. So you're very self-possessed. And that can be a little alarming for people at times, but it's very powerful. And this is something you've gained through the hermit stage. It's also, you're all alchemists too. So it's, you know, working with that lower density energy and moving it up, and learning how to work with that fear energy and turning it into something else. So very few people are going to F with you because it's just not worth their time. You're too powerful. Now, they may react to you in a certain way, and that's up to them. But you've learned so much from that hermit stage, and you couldn't have learned that unless you were in the hermit stage, unless you were doing this work on your own. But now it's time to come out and really shine that beautiful confidence, and that real sort of loner energy coming out and really dispersing out into the world. And you're going to be a lot more charming and wonderful than you think you are. You know you have it in you to be that, and we don't have to convince you of that. But you don't have, for most of you, or a lot of you, you don't have a lot of circumstances. And we could say this recently in the last 15 months globally, right? It's pretty easy to say we've not always been in these, you know, collaborative or these large situations, these social situations, because of what's been happening in the world. But this is not really that. This was pertaining before. In fact, a lot of you, when this started happening globally, you were like, all right, this is my chance to really get this done, when everybody was going out and doing different things and whatever they were doing, and you were like, all right, this is a once in a lifetime chance. I know the world is shifting. I know that the world is changing. I know Mother Nature is saying something. This is my chance to go within and really do some hard work here. I'm not going to waste it. I'm not going to go off and I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to focus on that. I'm not going to focus on anything other than myself. And this is where this hermit stage, with everything that you did before, you went deep and you got all of that stuff up, and it was not easy, and it did not feel safe, and it did not feel good, but you got that out of there, and you can teach and hold space for others to do that work too. You know, other people were convinced of all different things going on, and that was up to them, and that's how they spent their time. But you spent your time in the best time that you could have done for you, right? So taking that hermit, the Wheel of Fortune, shifting, all these riches coming into your life in this really glorious way. And again, they're going to come in really magical ways. So I wouldn't even bother trying to figure out how it will do it. And it's going to be absolutely gorgeous, you know. So we just want you to focus on that energy of thriving. Get back into that energy of trusting the universe, trusting yourself, bringing yourself from the hermit mode out and integrating back into that beautiful personality that you have. You really do have this gorgeousness. You have this sort of edginess that makes people feel comfortable, which is really interesting. And you also have this sort of humor that people really listen. I mean, people want to listen. You know, you're very talented. You got that gorgeousness. You definitely are needed in this world. So we're going to do these as an ending, get you See what we have. So the question mark. All right. So as we've saying, it's just reiterating. The question mark is don't focus too much on how you think things are going to come in. Be happy in this present moment and staying in this element of nurturing and love and feeling safe. Stay in that knowing that everything's going to be okay. Again, not in this woo-woo way. Not at all. But you know, it's okay to question, but don't go down that road too crazy so you drive your ego, your mental mind too nuts. You know, but it's okay to be open and expansive. Trust us. The universe knows exactly what you want and they know they're going to have to deliver it. You've been very clear on every level what it is that you want. So you're not, even if you're feeling a little, you know, a little stuck or you know, as you're walking into the light, a little apprehensive, you're nowhere near as unprepared as you think you are, if any of you are feeling unprepared. So keep in that, don't worry about how it's going to, stay in the present moment, don't worry about how it's going to develop or how it's going to come to you. The world is going to open up in the way it's going to open up, but we promise you it's going to be magical. It's going to be the sort of, you won't believe what just happened to me today. It's going to be a series of those moments. Stay in that mode. Remember, you've already moved out of that gorgeous place that you needed to be because you learned so much from that survival mode, but staying in that thriving mode, but really making a nest there with the nurturing, putting your energy first, feeling safe, building that confidence with the universe where you know you can feel like you're being cradled. The universe has got your back. Everything is going to be fine. And from there, all the magic will occur. So we hope you resonated with that and gave you a little bit of advice and at least a little bit of support, Pile 3. We are sending you so much support and gorgeousness for exactly who you are and exactly where you are in this moment. You stay safe and sane, gorgeousness. Enjoy this beautiful time of nurturing, and until we meet again.